Good evening, my lovelies. Good evening. How are we? I say good evening. What is 5 o'clock? It's high tea. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good middle of the night, wherever you are. Hello, welcome. Hopefully now, second night, you know the drill. Say hello. If you've not granted access to StreamYard, grant access to StreamYard for me. And that's all, tickety boo. That's all I need from you right now. Got a few of you coming in. Let me check who I've got. My screen looks a bit small. That looks better. I think I'm going to be able to see you all now. Oh, you're all coming in. Ping, 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 ping. Hi, Emma. Had a great fun day. I can't see who you are. If you could just grant me access on StreamYard, I would be grateful. Hello, Adrian. Hello, Angie. It's just going to feel like Groundhog Day by Friday. You'll be like, oh, hello, Emma. Hi, Gary. How are you? Scott, hello. Oh, my goodness, StreamYard is working. I love it when a plan comes together. Has anyone else got the torrential rain at the moment? Now, I really like having my studio at the bottom of the garden like a gnome, but trying to get down here in the torrential rain and then realising I'd forgotten my phone and then having to go back up to the house and then back down again, not the best look. Sharon, hello. Rachel, hello. Fiona, hello. Person under Fiona, I'm not sure who you are yet. If you grant permission to StreamYard, that would be super duper lovely. Today was definitely interesting. You've got a lot to learn. No, you know, if it's not your main genre and you're doing something different, and not everyone's going to work the same way, but I believe that this is how you get results with food photography. So, you know, persevere with it, honestly. Hi, Sue. Person under Sue, I can't see who you are, so just click StreamYard to grant access. Hello, Tom. Person under Tom, I'm not sure who you are. Please grant StreamYard access. I'm pointing up. Is it up on yours or is it out to the side? You'll have to let me know. Christine, hello. And Sewer, hello. I've got a piece of hair that I just can't get rid of. Sorry. Not. Yay, got it. Clive, hello. Sue, it's up, is it? StreamYard is up there. If you haven't granted access to StreamYard, it is up there. If you don't want StreamYard to have your name, just put your name in if you do any comments to me. That's it. Rachel, definitely loving it, though, been wanting to do food photography for a while. Me too. Sandy, hello. Wow. Person under Sandy, I've not got your name yet, so if you grant permission to StreamYard, we should all just start doing that, shouldn't we? To StreamYard. And then I'll know what lovely people I have here, which would be super duper lovely. I am just opening a can, and I will say it's Coke just before I've just opened a cold brew. It's Monday. The drinks will get stronger as we go through. Tell me if you're drinking something good or if someone's got a cocktail out there. Sandy, loving it, feeling both inspired and challenged in all good ways. Yep. Yeah, Rachel, we'll all be doing this. There must be a song for that or something. So was today a challenge, or were you all quite happy with that? Person under Rachel that's just said afternoon, I'm not sure who you are yet. Please grant access to StreamYard above. How is food photography a job? Get scrummy food, photograph it, eat it. Shh, don't tell anyone, Clive. No one needs to know that we get paid to eat other people's food. Shh. Hi, Kathy. Hello. Cherry, nice to have you here. Hello. Rachel's going to find us a song for the point to the StreamYard. Absolutely brilliant. That is superb. Yuli, can't get StreamYard to work again. Just got blank screen. How bizarre. Just pop your name in so we know it's you. Okay. So tonight, I'm going to go through all the correct questions that were in the group. then we are going to have a look at the photos. Tonight, as it's the first night, I am going to put them all in, so it might make it a longer live, which will make you realise why I can't do this every night, because we have had today, so far with the cut-off at 4:30, we've got 37 people coming through. Now, I've seen since then that they're starting to pop up, but the cut-off is at 4:30 because I then have to lift them out of Facebook, move them into, to rename them, move them into the slideshow, and I just don't have the time just before. So that is why the lovely Sasha is reminding you, saying 4:30, everything's got to be in till 4:30. Those of you watching on catch up, make sure you've put in #replay. Anyone from over a pond that hasn't had the time to do it today will get shown tomorrow, and then it really will be a selection of photos, or we'll be here all night, every night. And I'm sure by the time you've looked at everyone else's food, you'll want to be making your own food. Hello, Becky. Rachel, yes, got to eat the food. I'm always up for seconds too, as you know, from London. And anyone making cocktails, just keep sending them our way. So I'm going to start with the questions. Had quite a few. You're an inquisitive lot today. Do you know, I really thought that people weren't going to put their photos in today. I thought I might have scared them or something, because this morning was really, really quiet. And I think, and Shewa, you got one in really, really quickly. Hello, Tom. You got one in really quickly. And I thought, oh, here we go. And then it went quiet for ages. And I was thinking, oh no, I hope I haven't broke them on day one. Sue, not had time to add a photo. I know life is busy. I know how many people are in this group. You know, life goes on. We've got to just appreciate that not everyone can post every day. Some of you might not be working this week or doing something different. So I know some people have got more time than others. So it really isn't school. No one is judging. It is supposed to be joyful learning. Hi, Daryl. Nice to have you. Yeah, it's supposed to be joyful learning. If you enjoy what you're doing, you're going to pick it up more. You're going to learn more. And it's really going to help you with your business and your food photography. So honestly, you do not have to apologize for anything. It's just here for you to enjoy. And don't stress it, the amount of people that are beating themselves up today. And just remember what I said, Hal, Rachel, I work at midday, so I'll be posting sometime after 1 p.m. That's okay. It's not a problem. Remember what I said yesterday. Look at the work before you start the challenge and look at your work afterwards and see about your own personal improvements. People are beating themselves up at the moment. Don't beat yourself up. Don't compare yourself to Mark Trevathan. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. Just think about what you're doing and how things are going to be better for you. Everyone's got a completely different style. Someone else has just put in, not sure if you can see me late to the party. I can see your message, but I don't know who you are. So if StreamYard up there hasn't let you access it, just put your name in so I know who I'm talking to. So watching on Catch Up, put #replay so I know that you've seen it. I'll be there. I'm around everywhere like a bad smell. Right. Okay. So just starting off then. Housekeeping reminders. I know a few people today have tried to sort of start a new thread, have started to try and post their photos in. And Sasha, under my instruction, has declined every post that has come in. And the reason, like I said yesterday, is there is going to be very few threads each day. And everything in there has got my little label down at the front that tells you exactly what it is. If everyone starts doing new threads, it just gets crazy and everyone's heads going, I can't find anything. So that's the reason. It's not because I'm a big meanie. It's just to try and keep it really simplified for you so your head doesn't explode. Rachel, and I've been loving all the other photos. They've all been amazing. Some very talented pineapples in this group. Talented pineapples. I feel I need some maracas for that bit. Right, put on my Amazon order, maracas. Hello, Karen. Nice to see you. Right, so engage with everyone. God, you guys are so lovely. It's like someone posts something and someone goes, oh, I'm hungry, I could eat that now. Oh, isn't that a lovely photo? And I just sit there going, oh, proud mum moment, proud mum moment. Yes, photos need to be in for 4:30. As I've explained why, got to take them off, sort everything out. If anyone is a VIP that is not in the WhatsApp group, message me. It only comes up with your phone number to start with, so I don't know who has come in originally. When you joined, you will have got something to click on, which will take you straight to the WhatsApp group. If you're not in there and you're going, hold on a minute, I've paid, just let me know. That's absolutely fine. How so many posts that I couldn't comment on everyone's. I hope to see them all when you show them. Great. Okay. So last thing I was going to say is, I know it's tight on timings to get things in for 4:30, but you know, as a group of creatives, if I gave you till 7, 8 o'clock at night, you'd still find it tight on timings, because you're really likely to leave it a little bit later and post late. So see if you can get yourself into the timings. It gets easier as the week goes on, because you know what it's like when you first get on holiday and the first day you're trying to work your way around, and then by the end of the week you see the new people coming in and you're like, I've got this, that's where my sunbed is, that's where I go for my lunch, and it definitely gets easier. I joined but haven't received anything. Cherry Beasley. Okay, Cherry, when you joined, it just had a link. It said congratulations. You might see it in the post at the moment with Rachel, but I will just send you a message after the live so that you are in there. We will get you in very, very quickly. Okay, I'll send you that afterwards, Cherry. Okay, so Anita, hello. If you shoot without any emotion in your food, you can just photograph a very bulk standard plate of food. You can't evoke that Homer Simpson drool, because you're not getting into the mind of the person that is going to be viewing it. And when we start out in food photography, a problem that we can do is we can find a very pretty type of food that makes it very easy to photograph, so that we don't have to actually put any emotion into it. The next step on from there is that you should be able to pick up any type of food and be able to evoke the emotion. Think about that feeling when you go around a supermarket and you're really hungry and probably hangry, and everything just looks absolutely amazing. That's where we're trying to take our food photography to. That's part one. Adrian, I joined but didn't receive any link to the WhatsApp group. Adrian, I'll message you afterwards. If that's part one, the emotion. If you then don't think about who your client is and what emotion it is that they are going to bring in to seeing that food, then you're shooting as a hobby. You're shooting for yourself. And if you're not here to make money, that's absolutely fine. But if you're here to make money, you have to evoke the emotion and set your shot up to talk to the client emotionally. We can control the features and the benefits and the facts logically with our brain. We can't always control emotion of things that we actually like and love, and just, why is your favorite food your favorite food? How do you explain how some foods make you feel like that, or how some people are sweet people and some people are savory? It's something you have no control over. So if you can put this into your photography, It's going to make you a very powerful food photographer. And this element can be missed with so many people that photograph food. And that's why I harp on about it on day one, because I always want you to know about the emotion. Ah, Pavol, I can see you. Hello. Right, on to questions. That's me on my high horse about desire and emotions. Laura, found this one difficult because at the moment I am the who, as I published on my website, and it's an organic process where I create a recipe, test it, photograph it, and share it. Okay, Laura, the one thing I'm going to say that is you're still sharing it with someone. Who are you sharing it with? So there you're saying you're shooting for yourself. If you're shooting for yourself, is it a hobby? And it's absolutely fine if it is. Everyone is here for different reasons. If you're shooting for yourself, that's fine. If you are creating all this for yourself, that's fine. But on here, you're saying you're photographing it and sharing it. Who are you sharing it with? Who is that target market that you are sharing it with? That's actually who you're photographing for. Now, that might be you, because what you tend to do is, as your personality, you attract like-minded people to you, and you attract people that are going to share in your beliefs because they can see what you're doing. And that's how we create our own little tribe. But don't be out there being a jack of all trades, photographing for everyone, because that's not going to help you in the long run. And I will come on to this a lot more tomorrow about being a jack of all trade. But for now, really keep your client and the emotion in your head when you're thinking about it. You need to pick my brains. Oh, that's a scary place to go, Rachel. Liz, could you remind me what we use for removing the shine and reflection of cutlery? Yes, I can. Of course I can. Always willing to help. This is a matting spray. It is a clear one. I have a gloss one, which I never use. This one is matte. It comes from All Good Amazons. It will cost you about a tenner. That sprayed onto your cutlery takes all the shine off it and stops your all the silver bouncing around. That is one option. Or you spend your time at flea markets and antique markets and car boot sales, and you buy really old, sorry, I've got too much light on this to see it. Imagine. You buy really old ones that are scuffed, that don't have the shine on them. Okay. So if, or you buy matte ones. That is a brand new one, but it is a matte fork. So obviously, if you're working with a client, you have to use what they've got. And if you're really struggling with bouncing, with the light bouncing everywhere, get yourself some black card and try and prop the black card up to eliminate where the bounce, where it's bouncing over. Black stops, light, white reflects. So just make sure you're using a bit of black card to just stop all that cutlery bouncing all over. Probably gone too far on that question, haven't I, Liz? Story of my life. Louise, can we still join as a VIP? Yes, you can. The link should be at the top of the Facebook group. Just click on it. When you get to the congratulations, you're a VIP, don't leave that page. Click on the link that says go to the WhatsApp group. Yes, you can still do it. You can become a VIP at any time through the week. But obviously you get less for your money as the week goes on. So join quick. Fiona, I used my 35mm lens for today's challenge as it was already on my camera. Which one do you prefer to use? And also Vanda has asked me what my favorite lens is for food photography. So I have 3 lenses that I use. All my lenses are prime lenses, because I believe that there is a little bit of a shake in a zoom lens. And if you are photographing something close up, like a strawberry, and you want to see all those hairs coming off the strawberry, any slight movement with your camera or your lens or distortion can change that strawberry, because we're working on a really macro, in a very macro environment. If you've got a tiny little bit of food. So I only work with prime lenses. I don't work with zoom lenses. I have got a 50mm lens, which is more for my flat lays and when I need to get the whole table in. I have got an 85mm lens where I want to be a bit closer. It can do macro, but ultimately my 105mm prime lens is my absolute get every hair on the strawberries. That is my favorite lens. I would always go to my 105 if I could, but it's not always practical. If I want to put the whole story of the food that I'm photographing into my picture, I can't do that with a macro lens because then everything's blurred in the background. Sometimes I need that depth of field and I need to then go back to an 85 or a 50. So they're the three lenses I take out with me. As I say, I don't take a zoom lens with me. So it's up to you what you use and how much food photography you're doing. I waited for my first client to book me to pay for my macro lens because at the time I was photographing portraits, didn't need a macro lens. So I said to myself, the first client that books me, I'll buy a macro lens. So that's what I did. And you know, if you're a photographer out there, there is so much gear that you've got on your list that you want. So, you know, you don't need everything, but if you need anything, really, it's a macro lens and a tripod because you've got to keep that camera still if you're photographing close up. That's like just the basics. There is something else on that, but that's someone else's question, which I will come back to. So Fiona and Vanda, I hope that helped. Laura, I would like to talk more about being consistent and your style. I often take light and bright shots, but I don't know if at the moment they all say me. This might be further down the line. The first thing that you need to do is think about light and bright, dark and moody, whatever it is. You need to think about the emotion and who you're talking to. Then the shot starts to come up from there of how you're going to set it. So if I'm in the studio with a blank screen and I know I've got to photograph something, first I think, who is it for? What do I want them to feel? And then I'll start pulling out plates and bowls and everything to go with that. So, but your style will still come through. So you could be doing a dark and moody and a light and airy, but your style of how you set things and how you style and how you photograph will come through in both. So I would say your consistency will get there, but you've got to keep shooting all the time, building up that portfolio, and you will start to then see your own style emerge. My teacher knows my photo before he sees it. I don't know how. You know, when he used to say, well, that's an Emma Dunham, I'd be like, how? And then as I've got to know him and he spoke to me more about it, he's just said, you've just got a very distinctive style. I can't see my style because I just photograph as me. And that's what you need to do. Photograph as you, but put the emotion in and aim for the client. Hello, Mark. Fiona, dig out your 105. Absolutely. I think you're a Nikon girl as well. Laura's other question is about creating content for a client who doesn't exist yet and how to create content that you could offer to them. Hope that makes sense. Yes, it does. If you know who you want to service, if you know that it's going to be a restaurant, a cafe, a producer, a vegan, vegetarian restaurant, all the time that you are practicing your food photography, you practice with that type of food so that then you can use those shoots to use as content creation, but you're still speaking to your ideal client, even though you're practicing. So think about what gives you the most joy. And if you need to, just write a list of everything you photograph and just think about what gives me the most joy, or use this week to explore, because at the moment you go, I don't know, food is food. You will start to find things that you gravitate towards, like I gravitated towards cake to start with. Do you have, sorry, Facebook user, I don't know who you are. Go to StreamYard if you haven't. Do you have a must-have prop list? I have so much, but I wonder if there's something that I'm missing. Yes, I have things, and I think that will come out in the critiques, that you'll see things that I use there that will help you. So if that's okay, I'm just going to park that question and come back to it when we start doing the critiques. Sue loves her 105. Love our 105. Clive, at least we don't have to beg people to model for us. We can build a portfolio with all that angst. I know. And you don't have to get a thingy, a waiver, a model release form or anything. You can just put it on there and someone doesn't say, my cake doesn't say, my bum looks big in that. It's like, no, your bum's beautiful. It's full of buttercream. Oh, no, that sounded completely wrong. I'm moving on. Hi, Marlene. Right. Vando. So you asked me about the lens. Have you developed a signature style of food photography, or do you adapt it to each client's requirements? I think that's the same as before. I start with a blank piece of paper, find out what the client wants, and then I put the emotion and desire into that. If you stick to your own style, does it match your portrait photography? No, no way. My portrait photography is completely different lighting with completely different lenses. And no, portrait style gone. Everything now is food and lighting in a completely different way. So no. And that was the biggest thing I found. So if you are a portrait photographer, I found it really difficult to swap from portrait to food because the settings changed so much for me. But again, it's early days. We'll get there. Eula, I prefer working with things that don't move or argue. I know, especially having kids and toddlers and babies. It's just like, no. Clive, do you usually shoot tethered? Yes, I do. Well, I do if I'm in a stationary position, I'm building sets and I'm photographing from the same place and it's not an action shot of a waitress bringing food down from the pass. I will set it up, I will shoot tethered. Where possible, I will actually press the button on the laptop rather than the camera. So there is absolutely no shake in that image. It is 100% truly sharp. But tethering isn't always possible. You don't know where you're going to be. And if you've got to move around a busy restaurant, you can't always shoot tethered. But where I can, I shoot tethered and the client gets to see it straight away. So we can sign off each dish before we move on. So we don't ever have the, I don't like the, I don't ever like what the photos are. They're seeing them, they're happy with them. Hal, what is your creation process from initial idea to final work? Do you use Pinterest for that, scribble a draft, or just go with what you feel? I use Pinterest boards. I create a Pinterest board with the client and we collectively start to put images into there so that I can see exactly what they want the finished article to look like. So yeah, it's a joint venture of what that's going to look. Then I can think, how am I going to light it? What am I going to put with it? How am I going to style it? Person under hell, Facebook user, go to StreamYard, replay, we're live. You're not on replay, you're okay. Rachel, I don't have any fancy lights yet as I normally work with natural light, so this is a huge deal for me from a learning point of view. You can do the most beautiful food shots with natural light. Don't let that hold you back. You will fly with natural light. And if you do everything with natural light this week, it really isn't a problem. I swap between studio lights and natural light. They are both good in different ways. So you will be absolutely fine with natural light. Anita, I've never done any food photography, so I'm interested in learning as much as I can. I'm trying to do more brand photography. Food is under brand. My questions are there any particular rules that should be followed in terms of placement, angles, or things on the plate, props, etc.? Yeah, there's lots. And I would say to you as well, critiques, all of this will come up in the critiques now and it will start to give you an idea. Then if you have some specific questions, we'll go back to it, but composition will take us forever. You'll see all that in the critiques. What is the best camera angle to shoot from? There is 3. We will talk about that on Wednesday. So I'm not going to bombard you anymore now. If you don't feel you've got your answer on Wednesday, ask me again and I will go through it in more detail. Person under Rachel, don't know who you are at the moment. Always use natural light. Love it. Yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously coming into the spring now, or we are in the spring, you've got more light in the day. So using natural light is not a problem. Okay. Right. I am going to get on with today because you're all going to get hungry and you're all going to want to eat. So I'm just trying to get in. Let me share the screen. Okay. Let's just check that that's working. There we go. Okay. So today's task was all about the desire and emotion. And the reason I have started off with this image is to show you this. You will see there's probably a few things I need to change, like the rim around here, and I need to get rid of that line. This is the image out of the camera that you saw. So if you're not sure if food photography is for you, that's my only bit of editing I have to do on this picture. I need to clean that up and I need to just get rid of that line. That's it. So when I said to you, I've got my evenings and my weekends back, I really have. I'm not doing masses of editing. I get it right in camera and work that way. As you can see, I'm using an old spoon there that doesn't have any light. It's got a little bit coming in there. And then also on that one, the light and airy, again, this is out of camera. I'm not actually going to bother doing anything at all with that one. So that's my editing done, gone. So if you're working with kids as I did for years and you're trying to stick one kid's head onto another picture to get mum and dad a nice picture of their little darlings together, you don't have to do that in food. Right, let's get on with your photos. So first one, where's my list of everyone? Let me see. I've got so many different things open here. Oh, that's the questions. Where are your names? Just so I know. Here we go. So this is Alexandra with her little biscuits. Now, just for fun, I want you, if you can, to come up with the words that each of these images are evoking for you. Just while I'm talking about each image, just put things in and I can have a look back over that later on. But if you feel like saying what the emotion is, some pictures are stronger with the emotion and you get them. Others takes a little bit more time. The first thing I'm going to say before I actually go into your photos is all of your photos are great. Don't today think that I am saying that your photos are not good. If you're putting them on Instagram, everyone will tell you how brilliant your photos are. Also, if there is a congealed burger on Instagram, they'll also tell the person that's put the congealed burger onto Instagram that theirs is great. So it's very hard to judge. But what I'm saying to you all today is you've all got a great base. I want to make you fantastic, and I'm going to try and give you one thing to take away from each shot here, not because I think that you need me to tell you, but I think it will really help you grow. If you don't like being critiqued, then please don't put your photos in, because obviously if they're there, I will use them. Christine, I'm finally taking only 4 or 5 shots instead of 50. That's because I've been on at you for ages, Christine. Desire and luxury. Sorry, Kathy's got us started. Brilliant. Okay, so Alexandra, lovely ramekin that you've put this into. I really like how you've shaped the fabric around it. Crunchy, chilled, relax. I can't say them all because it will just keep pinging. The first thing I'm going to say here is that our eyes always end up somewhere on a food photo. And for me, my eyes are going to the darkest bit in here, where you've got a hole in this biscuit here. So just by turning that round, you could have stopped my eyes, and then my eyes would go to the entirety of the ramekin. So just a quick scooch with that one would make my food photography OCD very happy, but a lovely shot to get us started. Hell, I use natural light too. I don't have any lights, but as long as you've got a tripod, you should be okay if the light's a bit lower. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, on to Anita. Anita has some beautiful mushrooms here. They're looking pretty good. I don't know whether you've foraged these. I'm loving the chopping board that you've put this onto. It feels very rustic and raw. I noticed the fabric, it's nice, but I was drawn to that before the food. Ah, yeah, it's a good point. On here, for me, my eyes are drawn to the knife. And really, the hero is the mushrooms. And I think it's because it's brighter, shinier, that my eyes are going over here, even though I want my eyes to stay here. It's all very nice, but everything is in the same color tone except for the knife. So it feels bigger, brighter, bolder, and therefore my eyes are going to it. If maybe that had been a brown knife, or you took the knife a little bit down and out of the shot, I think that my eyes would then have stayed with the mushrooms, which for me, I feel is the hero, unless you're going to tell me the knife's the hero. So well done, Anita. Sorry, still managing to find who everyone is. Ansua. These are Ansua's lovely mangoes. Ansua is in my academy and has recently stopped using a phone, and she's now using a camera. So she is very new to using to photography. She's got another career, and she's trying to get a career in food photography. I think you've done a beautiful job with this. If I'm being OCD, which I am, I find that the line here with the table and the line going across here could kind of match, or this could maybe be a bit blurred. But I love the separation of how sharp these leaves are here, and then you've managed to get the blur in the background. So that's really good control, and I'm hoping that's with the aperture and the depth of field that we talked about. Love the shadows on this, so amazing. Well done. Just seeing if you're telling me anything. Right. Love the way the leaves frame the mango. Yeah, really nice. Adrian, the knife is a lead in line with the mushrooms. No, because there would be something at the end of the knife. So if we wanted the if we want the mushroom to be there, the knife would need to be turned in, so the lead-in line went into the mushroom. But good viewpoint to look at it. On to Becky, I believe. Becky, we have got your lovely sandwich. Hopefully you made this and had lunch. Brown is sometimes difficult to photograph because there's a lot of brown food. There's a lot of yellow food. And it does look fresh, but I feel that you could have put it on a different color chopping board to really bring out that wholesome brown bread style of it. Whereas at the moment, we've got the table being brown, we've got the chopping board being brown, we've got the food being brown. I would just like a little bit more contrast in there so that the bread didn't merge into it, it popped. I'd like it to pop off the screen and say, eat me. That's all I ask for, talking bread. I love the napkin. Napkin, yeah, really nice. So well done, Becky. On to Blanca. Blanca, looks like you're going to be making some spaghetti with some tomato sauce. I can start to see the story in this, where we've got the basil, we've got the rest of the herbs, we've got the garlic, beautiful different tomatoes there. It feels very rustic, just about to make it. What I would say on this one, Blanca, is to be very careful about your focus points. At the moment, the part of your picture that is in focus is this part here. And I'm going to guess that that is not the hero of your shot. I think here you need to decide, are the tomatoes the hero of the shot, or is the tagliatelle the hero of the shot, or is it a long depth of field to have all of that in? But at the moment, that bit there is the sharp bit. So just a little bit of work on those focus points would make this absolutely beautiful, because the setup is lovely. Just watch your focus points. On to... That is not Kathy. That's in a different order. I think that's Christian. Christian, tell me if that's you. Now, can you imagine being given this? I mean, honestly, a piece of chocolate cake with a bourbon biscuit with chocolate sauce and a love heart in the front of it with squirty cream. I mean, heaven. And then in the background, that looks like a vanilla baked cheesecake. So, like, wow, 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 wow. What I would say with this is you've probably gone out for a cup of tea and a cake, lucky you. But what you could have done here to help the shot is you could have moved things around in the background. These things here, this could frame the end, but this doesn't need to be in the shot. That could be moved out. We could move the handle round. And I think it's one of those classics when we go out and we have something absolutely amazing on our plate, the pretty food. Hi, Liz. And we take it as it is and we don't think. And this might possibly be someone's arm here. Also, I'm not sure what angle this is taken at, because this looks like the, we look a bit like we're there. So I would say, love what you've got there. A little bit of time now on the styling, because you've got some beautiful light coming in there, but just some styling on this picture will really help you this week. So well done. Need more cake. Always need more cake. Christine. Yeah, these are a bit mixed up. I think I've missed someone's. Oh, I think I know why. Christine, we have talked about this quite a bit. Again, Christine is in the academy and she gets used to my OCD. Look at that beautiful matte soup spoon. That is what we want to see. No light reflecting from it, but obviously you can't do that. If you're working for a restaurant, you need to use shiny cutlery if they want it in there. Just seeing what people are saying. The beautiful fresh flowers go really well with it. Loving the asparagus on the side. I think for me, the spoon either needs to sit flush with the end of the napkin or be a bit more random. If I'm being really picky, Christine, which I think I can be by now with you, I would just like it to be either flush with the napkin or a little bit more random, and a little bit less bread, because the size of the bread is making the soup look small. So if that was for a restaurant, it wouldn't make the soup look very abundant if everything around it is much bigger. Again, it's got the brightest bit, but it's not the biggest bit of the picture, but it is an absolutely stunning image. Color palette is absolutely fantastic. So well done, Christine. I'm loving what you're saying out there. Dig into that soup. Right, moving on to Clive. Clive, you made your ploughmans today, so well done. Loving that you've got your ploughmans. What I would say here with your ploughmans is I'm loving the light coming in from here. The only thing with the light coming in from here is this is your biggest, brightest, boldest piece of the image. The bread is quite shadowed. And so for me, I feel the hero of the shot is the cheese and the tomato rather than it being a ploughman, especially as the pickle is quite dark. I think to just rectify that, if you just put a fill card or whatever you've got there, a piece of white card or a reflector, and bounce a bit of light back in on this side, it would have subtly lifted the colour, still giving you that beautiful shadow, subtly lifted the colour so it felt like we were looking at everything in the picture. So really lovely, but just it feels like it's two pictures in one for that one. But lovely lighting, very lovely lighting. Chris, your garlic. Now, this is what I'm talking about with a macro lens. You can't get this type of detail where you see every line of the wrapping of the garlic. Everything in here is absolutely crisp. So that's what a macro lens does. That's what a 105 lens does for you. It makes you see everything, which is absolutely beautiful. I love the black background here. I'm just not sure what you're shooting on, Chris, because your horizon is moving up on this side. You've got the straight edge on that side, but something's just gone a bit squiffy with your background. I'm sorry, I have OCD for food photography. I'm sorry. So just possibly if that wasn't playing ball and sticking down just a little bit in post, just to put your horizon back. But other than that, it's looking really crisp and sharp. So well done. On to Daniel. Daniel, this is your first photo and you went back to your jammy sandwiches to make your first food photo. So well done, well done. What I would say here, and this is not something I've mentioned yet, so this is a good time to mention it, is in food photography, we tend to work with smaller plates a lot of the time. If I'm working with a client that wants it on their big plates, I will also ask to see a smaller plate. Because if you've got a meal on a big plate that's spread out, sometimes it can look very sparse. And if a restaurant or a pub is trying to sell this food, they don't want the plate to look spread out and sparse. They want it to look abundant. So by using a side plate or a large side plate or a small dinner plate, you manage to be able to style it much closer together and it feels like there's more on the plate and that you're getting more for your money. So if after this you've got the bug and you go out there and you're buying lots of crockery, try and buy more side plates than dinner plates. Let me see what I've got here. Right, so as I always say with food, it's a blessing and a curse because there's always stuff that you want. But that is a new one I've just bought. I'll tell you what it is if I can find my measurement. That was TK Maxx. Love TK Maxx for this kind of thing because if there's not 4 or 6, they sell them off heavily discounted because they want it to go. 5s don't go, 3s don't go. But for me, I only want a couple. So charity shops and TK Maxx are absolutely brilliant. So that plate is 22 centimeters, or if you work in inches, that's just under 9 inches. So when we start to dish everything up on that, even with my clients, I'll do a Sunday roast on something like that, and we'll just style it and pull it up. Hello, Jen. Didn't realize you were here. Hello. Yeah, so side plates are brilliant. And your clients will be forever grateful if you get them to build this up right and use this. Or if it's for yourself and you're looking to do things, then obviously same thing. Clive, I might already have a bug. I just ordered ramekins. Oh, lovely. Sue, totally agree on charity shops and TK Maxx. Yeah, and we have an antiques market, in the market, of course, because it's an antiques market in the market. Genius today. Every month, and I go and have a little mooch around it, because if you go to an antique store and they've got, again, 6 or 12 knives or forks of old stuff that doesn't bounce the light, that's great. You go up to the stands that have got random one manky fork, you go, how much for that? And they go, oh, 50p, a pound. And you're like, okay. And then you fill your boots on everything they've got there, because they just can't get rid of individual things. And for us crazy food photography people, that's exactly what we want. So go rummaging, fill your boots, people, fill your boots. Gary, the plate is more full than it could have been, at least. Yeah, absolutely. Jen, you're here. You just need all the coffee. Oh, you having a bad day? Car boot sales and Facebook Marketplace too. Yeah. Stay away from places like Etsy. Etsy will charge you about £6 for one fork, and then probably postage on the top. But yeah, charity shops, anywhere that you can think. And if you're saying to grandparents, don't throw anything away from your kitchens that look manky, that's the stuff we want. Really probably shouldn't call it manky though, should I? So that's my biggest tip there for you, Daniel. And also, take the crisps out of the packet. You know, if you're going to make this a little bit more luxurious, take the crisps out of the packet. Okay, on to David. David, beautiful, vibrant colours on here. Your onion, I have onion slicing envy. Is that a thing? But, you know, when I'm looking at those slices of onion, I'm like, wow. Did you do them with a mandolin or something? Or have you got a really steady hand? Are you a surgeon? Because they are beautifully cut onions with all the detail and texture in them. Adds to it and is really, really good. Sorry, I've got some stuff here. Oh, we're all going on about DIY and everything now, I think. What have we got? Etsy silly money. Surprised there's anything left in TK Maxx after when my wife's been shopping there. My husband is always in there. Finds it hilarious when I go in. Can't be dealing with it. I have a great neighbour who hoards and can generally borrow items I need. Fantastic. Or just DIY and sand the cutlery with steel wood. Yes, Pavel, love it. Charity shops are great for odd things. I bought my light diffuser there. That's fantastic. Great lines. Tom's brought us back on track. Great lines. And Shewa, I found a beautiful old fork in a charity shop for 30p. Only sad thing was I didn't have any change on me and they wouldn't take card for that amount. Right, you're going to have to start having little pocket money for all these things you find. Yes, perfect slices. Great idea, great colours. I love this. I just want to see a bit more of the picture. I feel it's very cropped in, and I don't know if it's because it wasn't on the right plate or if there was something on this. I'm not sure. The colours are great. The texture is great. I'm not 100% sure about this pepper along the front. It feels to me like a leading line, like snakes and ladders. And if I look at both ends of the snake or ladder, it'd be a snake, wouldn't it? There's nothing that's going to hold my attention at the side. If it had been pointing to beautiful sliced onions, maybe, but it just feels at the moment it's kind of cutting the picture in half. But other than that, love it. On to Eleanor. Eleanor, is this you? Beautiful. Daniel, thank you so much for all your feedback. Loads to work with. Oh, no, that was your first photo in, so I'm hoping I haven't put you off and you'll be back with more tomorrow. Eleanor, I can't remember what this is, but it looks absolutely beautiful. I'm loving the fact that we've got the lemons, I think, in the background here. The drizzle is beautiful on a nice crisp white plate there. Drawl, yeah, drawl factor. Love in motion shot. There we go. Just two little things from here. I'm guessing that that's a lemon, but I'm not quite sure. So if something's in the picture, I would kind of like to know a little bit, just slightly more, if I'm right about that being a lemon, because there's something red under here as well. So it's making me think, is it not a lemon? And it's making me question what's in this as to what the red thing is. And again, red can be the biggest, brightest, boldest thing of a image. So we have to be very careful to not make it too bold if it's in the picture. And I think that these are chocolate chips or caramel chips. I would just like to know from a nosy viewer's perspective if I'm right about what they are. I think slightly here, Eleanor, you could have gone a little bit further out on the width. And I'm not sure if that's because you didn't have the room and there's stuff either side, and I get that when you're practicing. It just feels like a very narrow picture, and I'd like to have a little bit more of the story in there. But beautiful. Your drizzle goes in line. Now, this is my OCD. The drizzle goes in line with the lines on the tiles at the back. So that to me is like, yeah, love that. So just a couple of things there. On to Eula. Eula, you have made some beautiful rustic smashed avocado, pumpkin seeds, really nice to see the whole thing there. I would like this whole thing. This is the hero. I would really like the whole of the hero to be in focus. I've started to lose the focus there. Again, I'm lifting these off Facebook. So if I'm wrong, just say you're wrong. But at the moment, the sharpness of the picture is at the front. And I feel as this whole thing collectively is the hero, I would like the whole of the hero to be sharp. But the picture is absolutely beautiful. Just one other thing is, if you're going to have crumpled greaseproof paper, either crumple it so it looks like it's supposed to all be crumpled, or keep it very straight. I've got one crease here and one crease here. It makes it feel like it's not necessarily meant to be like that. But it's a beautiful shot. Absolutely lovely. The colors are lovely, just very slight tweaks. And you did mention that you felt you should put it in as landscape because you feel that more clients would want it landscape. I think, again, depends on who you're working for, what they need. It could be something just for Instagram and they need something square. So don't second guess who you're working for. Let them tell you what they need. But obviously having the option of doing it both ways is super. I'm trying to teach myself to be more OCD. I think you're getting there, Christine. Love the lights and colours. Oh, my favourite, first up of the day, and it's stuck in my mind. Absolutely great feedback. I'm going to Eula's for lunch. Let's all go. Come on. Oh, I have to leave. It's okay, Gary. Catch it on replay. You prefer the portrait. I prefer the portrait one. I feel I've got the whole story in that. So, yeah. So, well done, Eula. On to Fiona B. That's because I've got two Fionas. Fiona, this is an absolutely beautiful setup. And I am the person that was allowed 3 biscuits as a child. And now I eat biscuits in 3s. I get 3 and then I go back for another 3. So I totally understand the being allowed more than 3 biscuits. I don't know why I was ever told I had to have 3, but there we go. It's a good point to try both ways to give the client a choice. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes shooting too far up can, really shoot you in the foot. Foot. 'Tis the power of 3. Absolutely. Compositionally. Ginger nut biscuits. So I love the simplicity of this. That is a beautiful background. It doesn't feel like a homemade one. It doesn't feel like a printed one, but it might be, but it doesn't look like it. So that's good enough for me. Just one very, very slight thing with this, Fiona, simply because the simplicity makes it so beautiful. Less is more, 100%. Your positioning of your camera has slightly gone over the top of the ginger biscuits. So I feel that your camera is here, which means that you've had to tilt back in And when we're looking at this picture, it could almost look like it was standing up because the camera isn't exactly over the biscuits. Now, I know that might sound really strange, but if on a flat lay we don't get completely over where the main hero is, we can either make it look like it's sloping off, or we can make it look like it's hanging up on a wall. And you've just slightly gone through the biscuits, which has made you tilt your camera back, which is where it's making it look like it's standing up. I'm not sure if you can see that. My OCD sees that. But it is absolutely beautiful. It's wallpaper, is it? Yeah, I like the texture. Has it got a bit of texture in it? Because I liked that. But that is all it is. It's just a slight smidgy tweak, and that's it. Absolutely love this. Colour's great. Yeah, love the background. Yeah, yeah. So, you know, as I've said to you tonight, you've all got great pictures. I'm just showing you slight things that you might be going, something not quite right with it. That's what I'm here for. And if you don't like what I say, just tell me to shut up, hey? Would like to dump the biscuits in the milk. Yeah, yeah. I'm going for that. Yeah, only just over, but it's just making that camera come back into there. So well done, Fiona. Love the simplicity. And Fiona S, she's come in full of apologies because she went, oh, I've got to get better at this. Everyone has to start somewhere. Pitch from where you're starting from, Fiona. So do not worry. Whatever you've got here with your chicken, probably left over from the weekend, I think we all need to come to yours now because it looks absolutely great. With this picture, I think what you probably just needed to do is to be able to crop it in so we could see where the hero is. And you would then start to have a little bit more of what the actual meal is. Whereas at the moment, we're looking out the window, we can see a pot on the window, we can see your bag in the side. So we're seeing the whole room, and it's drawing away from the main hero, which is here. You also have an artificial light on your shining on plate. And the reason you've got an artificial light shining on there is the colour that's coming out from here is quite yellow. And artificial light can turn your food yellow. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that people make, is leaving a light on, especially if you've got a spotlight or if you've got an artificial light above. That's what changes the colour, and it can also give you a really harsh light. So what I'm going to ask you to do tomorrow, Fiona, is ask someone to help you carry this table over to the natural light. Keep going back over here and turn off any other light in the room and photograph next to that beautiful, lovely light that you've got coming in, and you'll start to get a completely different feel for your images. So head towards that natural light, switch off the artificial light, and great things will happen. But you are on the right way. The flash was a, yeah. I can tell it's an artificial light. I can't always tell what it is. But yeah, hold on to that flash or take the flash unit off, go next to that window, magical things will happen. If you're shooting in the natural light, you will just need to ramp up your ISO. So make sure that you're playing around with the ISO to get enough light into the picture, and see how you go with that. But yeah, lovely. Got to give a lift. We'll catch up, love and all. Don't know who you are, but thank you. Nice to see you. Right, moving on. This is from Ferdas. Ferdas, I'm finding it a little bit hard to see your images. If you can just post it in as an image rather than doing something to it, I might have a better chance of seeing what it is. I think it might be the wrong way round. I'm really sorry. I'm not quite sure. That one might be that way. No, it's not, is it? Is everyone doing the same as me? Are you all sitting in your houses doing that? I'm going to leave it where it was posted up there. I'm not 100% sure what it is. I would love you to take a step back even if you're on your phone, it's not a problem. There is no snobbery here with the phone. Just take a step back, make sure the image is sharp, so that I can see exactly what you've taken. I wasn't sure if that was ice cream or dough, but yeah, just don't put any effects on it. Just put it in so I can give you a little bit more of a feedback, if that's okay, because I'd love to help you tomorrow. Or if there's any way that you can put these back into the group later, I'd love to be able to help you. So I'm sorry I can't say any more than that right now. On to Hannah. Hannah is creating that moody, indulgent. Do you have any tips for places to get backgrounds? Yes, I will come to that in a minute, Becky. Moody, lovely, dark, indulgent chocolate always goes down very, very well. Always good when you can get rid of a few more Easter eggs. I used to always melt mine from the kids and make rocky roads. So that seemed to go down much better than the big egg. They always like what's inside it, don't they? But not the rest. You're welcome, Fiona. On this one, I'm not quite sure if something has been superimposed because I'm not seeing any shadows around the chocolate. And the chocolate here has either been lifted or placed onto this black, but I would see some shadow coming back off this chocolate. And at the moment, the edges are so crisp, I can't quite work out. I'm not sure if Hannah's here, if she can tell us what's happening with this. But because it's so dark, we would get a fall off of shadow on here, especially as the light's coming in from here. We would start to have this bit being lighter and this bit being darker. So Hannah, let us know what you've done there with your lighting. I can't see any light coming back in from this way unless you're lighting somewhere here. But what I would suggest to you is when you've got a big mass like this, if you want to highlight that a bit more, you could either get a snood and point that into that area to lift the colour inside, or turn it round slightly so there isn't such a big hole showing. But just let me know what's happening with the... Oh, it's Hannah. You darken the background. Right, yeah. I couldn't quite work it out because I knew there'd be more shadow. So that's why I just want to find out what's happening. You know, if we're putting something into a shot or we're editing, we need to understand where the light would fall for how it would sit on that chocolate. So sorry, OCD comes out again. But just a little bit of control there with the light maybe, but a beautiful setup and very indulgent. So well done. Thank you for putting me out my misery and telling me what you've done there. On to Helen. Helen, love your cup of tea or soup. Soup. I think I'm going soup now. I was going to go cup of tea. That is not a cup of tea. I like what you've got there. I would really like to hone in. I think that's a beautiful Cath Kidston cup, and I think you could have really brought that in a little bit further and made more of the actual cup. At the moment my eyes go here, but then I start looking at all the amounts of cocktails in your in the back of the picture. Everyone round to Helen, she's got loads of booze. So I start to look at all your drink in the background. So I think a nice crop. Someone thinks Mum's amazing as well. So I'm reading that Mum's amazing. And I just feel if this was out here on social media, you'd be losing your audience with that beautiful soup because there's so much happening in the background. Just by cropping it in and giving it a little bit of a different feel to it, you could really start to hone in on that soup. I like the picture, chocolate being exploded into deep space. Oh, that one, yes. You've got a cup like that. Everyone's got a Cath Kidston. You get drawn to the pink card. You get drawn to the pink card, Rachel, because it's the brightest thing in the picture other than the leaves in the side here. But because our eyes don't naturally go down, our eyes go backwards, we then end up with our eyes resting on the mum card. The mum card isn't the hero, this is the hero. So you could really have that picture in much closer. Okay, oops. And how, hopefully I'm saying it right now. We have got a beautiful bacon butty. Classic, love it, great pour. I don't mind the blur in the pour. It feels to me like it's a action shot. I think you've set this up really well, really simple. I don't think it feels like a McDonald's kind of bacon. It feels like an upmarket bacon butty. So I really like this. I think the only thing for me here is your light is a little bit flat. And I can see the light coming in from here, but then you start to lose the light on the main area. And because we've lost the sharpness at the end of the bacon, I need that whole thing lifted. I can do a very, very crude job, possibly in here. Put some shadow back into it. But I feel the colours are a little bit muted, and it's just that the lighting's come out a little bit flat there. But beautiful, beautiful shot. All right, everyone's getting hungry now. I need to speed up, don't I? This is June. June is on the beach. I am very jealous. Look at that weather. It could be anything, couldn't it, really, with that. It's a pasty, I think. I could eat it, yeah. But in terms of food photography, it blends in with the sand. That's not just jealousy. I am jealous. I would like to be there. But because you've took a brown piece of food on a brown sand, it needs some contrast. And those of you that know me well will know I always have a handy colour wheel nearby, especially for brown and yellow food. So if we're looking at the reds, the oranges and the yellows on our colour wheel, we can contrast it with a bright colour on the other side. So by putting this pasty onto a purple or a green napkin or photographing it onto the grass would have given it that contrast. So it's finding the right thing to put with brown and yellow foods. It can be done and it can be done really, really well, but it has to be, it has to contrast or it has to clash. Oh, in JPEG, you'll bring Facebook to a stand if you put everything in RAW. All you're doing is putting them onto Facebook, Adrian, and then I'm lifting them off and putting them into my own program. It is not the most sophisticated way, but it's a free challenge and it's the best that I can do right now. JPEG. Contrast is the sea. Absolutely, Clive. If you scooch around a bit, June, and put the sea, then we would have took it from there. So yes, absolutely. Right, I've lost the pictures. I really want to be in that sunshine. On to, is that Katie? Tell me I've got that right. I think that's Katie. Katie's blueberries. I really love your blueberry muffin. I like the fact that the blueberry jam is coming out of the side. It's very sharp. You've done a really good job of making it very sharp. So all in all for that, it's good. I've got two very small corrections. Because you're photographing very close up, you need to make sure you're getting rid of things that shouldn't be there. We've got a smudge in the icing. We've got a little bit of the blueberry muffin on the blueberry and a little bit of a squidging of something there. Best thing you can do is get yourself some paintbrushes. Paintbrushes will just take that off without you leaving greasy finger marks in everything. When you're photographing food and it's this close up, it's got to look perfect if it's this clean and crisp. So just get yourself some paint brushes. This one on the side over here, you might just need to blow it or sprinkle a little bit more onto there. It looks really good. One other thing here, just watch your horizon. We've got your horizon going skew with here, and your horizon needs to stay straight along the back. So just watch your horizon up at the back there. But other than that, it's beautiful blueberries. On to 2-bite muffin. 2-bite, I think that could go in one fail swoop. I'm hoping I've still got the names right. I think I'm up to Laura. Yes, Laura. What have we got here? Laura, your pasta. I think you asked me a question about this, but I can't remember what it was now. I love everything in this shot. I think you've done a really good job of setting everything out. And I could see this in a recipe book, that kind of thing. So it all looks really, really good. A couple of things, if you really want to raise your game with it, is just be careful on your edges. You've got something up here where you're off the background, and it's just showing in this corner where you're off the background. And here you're using a very glossy plate. If you can buy matte plates and plates that are not glossed, you stop all the light bouncing around off them. So in the bowl, you can't see that as much, and the colander is fine. But on here, you've got a very glossy plate. So if you're buying things, just think about what you're buying and try and stay away from the gloss stuff. It bounces everywhere and it's crazy. Great flat lay on the pasta recipe. Yeah, I can see it in a recipe book. It's absolutely beautiful. Just a couple of little tweaks to make it perfect. On to Liz. Liz, you have made or bought, I'm not sure, your bread. You've got your dried flowers in the background. Great ingredients on the, yes, very good on the last one. Again, with this one, we've got a lot of brown, and I don't feel that the bread is the hero. And the bread is the hero. We've got the butter next to it. We've got the knife. And I'm just wondering if your shot would be more there. That would then, to me, feel like you have got the hero where the hero should be. I think you wanted to get all the flowers in, and the flowers have kind of made you lose what the hero is. So for me, I would say that that just needs to be cropped in. Also, Liz, I'm not sure where you're photographing, just watch your light. It's very, very harsh, and you're just on that cusp of turning the bread yellow. So just be very careful. What did you do? Did you crop it in? Did I get that wrong? You did. You did. I'm not sure what you did. Tell me what you did. But really lovely. Look at how you can see every little bit in the bread. You know, that is nice. That's what we want to see. We want to see that level of detail. It was natural light. Yeah. Yeah, just very harsh natural light. So we're lucky if we've got this in this. I did want to get the flowers in. Yeah, I know you wanted to get the flowers in. I just think the flowers are dominating it, and that if you had it closer in with maybe not all of the flowers in, we would see more of the bread. It feels to me more there. My eyes are going to the flowers. On to Marlene. Marlene, great idea today. Some fresh orange lollies with some extra orange, extra ice, extra everything. It's lovely. It's in focus. And you've done a really good shot with contrasting colours. One just very slight tiny thing that I would want to say here is I would just have liked to have seen you scatter the zest a little bit more. It's looking a little bit clumpy. That if you can just scatter the zest around a little bit more, it would feel a lot more natural. That's the only thing, but that is a tiny thing because the picture is absolutely lovely. Becky, you asked me a question before and I can't remember what it was. On to Nina. Nina has made some lemon, it might be flapjacks, I'm not sure. Tips of backgrounds. Let me just write that down. I'm just desperately trying to get through these. Nina has made some lemon flapjacky things, which I think is really nice. I love how you've put the green cactus tea towel in there. We've got a fork. I'm not sure if you'd eat it with a fork. That would be, I'm not sure. And I just love all the splash of yellow everywhere on the baking parchment. And it kind of works in this glass bowl. Part of me goes, yeah, I really like how you can see it through. And another part of me goes, I'm not sure because I can't work out what everything is. So I'm mixed. I know that doesn't help, but I'm mixed on that. But I think you've done a really good job on everything lemony there. So it's a good job, well done. It's a cheerful shot and zesty, absolutely. Okay, on to, not got that many left. On to Robert. Robert has put his delicious, I could eat that quite now. Robert, looks lovely. I love the colours that you're using here. I think what you need to do is think about your styling. And those in the group have got an upper hand in this type of thing because they know how to style the dish. This feels like you've put your meal down and then just put the veg on top of it, whereas I think it could have been styled a little bit better. Love the plate here. And again, I would like it to be a bit wider. I'm not sure if you've cropped it in because you had things in the background that you didn't want to be seen. But a little bit more on the styling would be absolutely brilliant there. So well done. On to Sharon. Sharon was with us last time, which is very nice. Everything here is in focus. Everything looks good. I think you've done a really good, shot here with everything in it. I think the only little things I would say is this still looks a little bit wet, and I don't know if it's supposed to be wet or if that is just how it's bouncing on the light. But that's the only thing that I could see in that. The rest of it, absolutely beautiful. Homely shot, composition is great. Yeah, Mexican. On to Stacey. Stacey's omelette. You were ready to eat this, weren't you, Stacey? Here we've got that very low light, but it feels again like we've got artificial light on here because our omelette is very, very yellow and the cheese is very, very yellow. And I feel it's got an artificial light on that's not a studio light, that it's more of a light in a house, only because of the colours that we've got in there. So that's the biggest thing that I would draw from that. Could a wet pepper be done with the polarizing filter? Yeah, or you could wipe the wet pepper. We don't need to overcomplicate it. Also here, just a little bit on your angle, we've got our pepper pot going off that way slightly. So it'd be interesting to know what you did with the lighting here because it looks like a beautiful omelette. I love how you've got the eggs in the background offset, but there is something with the artificial lighting that is just turning that. It's a video light, right? Is it quite a harsh, strong light then? I'm just seeing that yellow. I mean, what I would say to you is if you've got things that you can't work around with your lights and it's harsh and it's turning everything yellow, then you need to change your white balance and you need to cool down your white balance and give it that bluer feel to it. So it takes all that yellow out of the shot. If there's nothing else that you can do with the lights, or stick it next to the window. Well done, though. I love your omelette. I could just eat that now, actually. On to Stephanie. Stephanie, I think you were with us last time as well. You have made a beautiful lunch with, I think they're pears. I love the shop. I think it's brilliant. Love your use of your tea towels. I know in the past you've had some very nice big white tea towels in there as well. I haven't said this once tonight, actually, but it's one of my favorites. What I want to say is bring it off the background. Bring everything forward. It's a bit like when someone comes into the studio for a headshot. They go and stand right on the backdrop and you go, come on forward. I won't bite. And this feels a little bit like we've took comfort in the wall behind it. And actually, if we brought the whole thing forward, it would blur the background and we would get a much nicer segregation between the background and what you'd photograph. So other than that, bring it forward a little bit. Bye, Sue. Nice to see you. On to Tom. Tom? Yeah. Tom, your racks of ribs look absolutely amazing. So well done. Fantastic. The only thing I would say here is there needs to be a bit more control of light. So we need to get some black card to stop everything. Because you've got a very rich sauce on the top, it's given so many highlights that we can't see the detail in the ribs. And we want to see a little bit more of that. So we need to try and stop the light pinging around. And it's probably on a grill that's all silver in the sunlight and with everything bouncing around. It's really, really difficult. So trying to get some black card just to stop down those highlights bouncing around would hopefully give you a bit more of a definition, because it looks absolutely amazing. They were very good. I bet they were. But well done. Lovely to see it on there. Rachel. Rachel, onto your decadent chocolate gooey cake. I'm sold. I'm absolutely sold. Love how you've put the flowers in the background. I think they look absolutely beautiful, and they really complement the orange on the top of the cake. It all looks very decadent and lovely. And it's quite a close cut picture, but it doesn't seem to mind because of that colour in the background. Just a couple of little things for you, Rachel, is if we're photographing close up and we've got detail on the top, you just need to clean up where there's a little bit of a smudge in the orange, and see what you can do just to make that look like it's, you know, it's okay for things to be messy, but when things are smudged, that might just have to be a bit of post-production if you can't do anything with it to put that together. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And because this is your hero of your shot, just be a little bit careful of your focus points. So round here, this bit here isn't in focus, and we've lost the focus here. But we've got the beautiful focus here. So just be very careful if the cake is the hero and the whole of the cake is the hero, that you've actually got the focus exactly where you need it. But love it. Absolutely brilliant. I love your behind the scenes video of it. Fantastic. I know there's so much stuff in the group. I'm so sorry. I can't show everything. On to Wendy. Wendy, you have took the simple cherry bakewell and added in the black, and you've added in a red napkin. So you've really coordinated the colours in here. I love the setup of it. I'm not so sure about the lighting. I feel the lighting's coming in from over here and it's very harsh. So it's casting shadows across this way. So there must be a light coming in from here as well. So I'm not sure if you've got two different lights on this, because it's very bright there, but then you've got the shadow coming in there. So I'm not 100% sure about the lighting. but I love the setup on this. And as with some of these shots where I've said simplicity is key, simplicity is absolutely key. It's lovely. And on to Willie. Willie, you have got an apple, 2 apples, cut it up. Really simple shot. It's on a beautiful chopping board, looks great, lovely shiny apple, works really well. 2 very little quick things here is, if you're photographing something like an apple or a banana, where the elements are going to get to it and it's going to change color quite quickly, have a stand-in, put something in the shot while you get it right, and then cut it at the last minute so that you don't get the browning happen as we get with fruit. Set your lights, set the shots, put some little pots in where you want everything, and once you know you're good to go, then cut your apple and you've just got a tiny little bit of faffing. And secondly, if you're using a backdrop, it either needs to be scrunched in so it's really messy, or it needs to not have the creases in it. So you need to kind of go one way or another. It's in between both. But well thought out, and again, very simple. Or use lemon juice to stop browning, absolutely. So I have got a few golden pineapples for tonight, and I had so many shots I could have given this to. I decided to give the golden pineapples to the people that went above and beyond what I'd asked today. And so the people that get the golden pineapples today are Cherry. I think it's Cherry. Cherry. Cherry photographed with the desire and emotion in 2 different ways. So she did her strawberries, she did her beautiful bread on this tablecloth, and then she photographed it on a different setup with the butter, still with the beautiful bread. She did 2 different feels to the same food. So well done, Cherry. You get the golden pineapple tonight for going above and beyond. Also, we have got Oksana. Oksana did her low level light, and this looks absolutely beautiful. Reflections on glasses are difficult. That's the next thing to talk about, but this looks absolutely brilliant on the low level light. And then Oksana did a high key with the same image. So well done, well done, well done. Just shows with the same meal, just replating it and rechanging it, what we can do with that image. So well done. And then the last golden pineapple goes to Kathy. Kathy did 2 photos as well. She did her beautiful asparagus on this setup and also on this setup. Again, 2 very different feels to the images. I'm not sure about that asparagus coming out the front, but I love the fact that you have done 2 different setups there. So well done, Kathy. Well done, everyone, tonight. I mean, it's really difficult trying to decide who gets a golden pineapple, because I think you should have all got a golden pineapple tonight. What else was there? Pavel, I didn't see one of yours in there, but that can always come up tomorrow. I have promised everyone's first one tonight, but I didn't see yours in the group, so I'll have to go and have another look for that. So apologies. You didn't start it as an extra post or something, did you? Did you post it into the thread? Just checking whether you posted it individually, so I might not have seen it. But that is everything. So I'm really sorry. I will try not to keep you as long each night, but this is why I say to you that it can only be a selection, and I'm really sorry, which is why the VIP was invented, for those people that want all their photos photographed all the time. That's absolutely fine. Cherry and Adrian, I will send you a message later on to get you into the VIP as you're not in the WhatsApp group. Oh, Becky, you just asked me about tips on backgrounds. My biggest tip on backgrounds is try not to buy all the ones that are out there on the background styling places, or your food will look like everyone else's. Buy a few of them, but go to wood places, find things that you can buy. I've got a £5 railway sleeper that I use. Anything that's a little bit different that makes your food look different is great. I can give you some companies to go and buy from. Absolutely. I'll do that tomorrow if you want to, but just don't all buy from the same places or everything starts to look the same. Just sent it to message and comments too. Still, I'll have a look for it. You won't be forgotten. I promise. I promise. If it's posted into one of the threads, I will find it. I will find you. I hope that my critique has not offended anyone. As I said, I am here to push you to be great, to be fantastic. And hopefully that's why you're here. I will try and give you something that we can use. And even if your photos now are not shown every single night, I hope you can see the value out of seeing other people's and learning from other people's from tomorrow night onwards. But they are all great. They are all brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go and feed the kids. And I'll be in the group later on if you need anything. VIPers, I will see you in a little while. Okay, speak to you soon. Bye.